Dr. Charles. Practical, relevant examples where applicable, we are hearing them. What about challenges budgeting and how can we overcome them?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I go to the challenges, when Lillian was speaking, I reflected on one important aspect, which was the aspect of making sure that you don't have your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but I think we rarely pay attention a little bit. And therefore, one main reason that will drive us to start to see that we need more than one source of income is budgeting.
Yeah.
And unless you start to see that I don't have money for this, don't have money for this, I don't have money for this, the brain will not start to think in looking for offers. And therefore, I want to pose a question here. First of all, to all of you here. How many of you are making budgets? And to those in the audience, how many of you have budgets? Just type, if you have a budget, type in the chat room and say, yes, I have a budget. Don't answer it now. Challenges and ways to get out of budgeting. Now, the biggest challenge with budgeting is it promotes what is called use it or lose it practice. Today is 25th of June.
Yeah.
And it is towards the end of the financial year. The attendance may be low because people are working very hard day and night to make sure the money is spent before 30th of June. Or else that money will go back to the consolidated fund. And the same applies to us individuals. When you make a budget and you are saying, I have 200,000 for my evening out with friends for a month. If it is 28th and you have spent 100,000 and there is 100,000 you have not spent, you are itching. I didn't call my friends, I've spent it. That practice of use it or lose it tends to affect us. That's the first challenge is budgeting. The second is that there is a tendency that we budget from historical perspective. Within the audience, there is a gentleman who is a timber trader. And in 2022, he exported 50 tons of timber. In 2023, he exported 80 tons of timber. He projected to export 100 tons in 2024. Guess what? He exported 0.
What happened?
And the reason was change of government was no exportation of raw timber. So that's the biggest challenge also around budgeting, that we tend to use the historical perspective and therefore cannot project the future better. So that is the second. The other is that the budget tends to be restrictive in terms of innovation. Once you have said, these are the things I'm going to focus on, it becomes hard for you to start looking outside to do things that can change and that you can do outside the budget that can propel you. So the recommendations I make here are around 2. Number 1 is that we need to move into building flexible budgeting, whereby keep changing your budget as you go along, provided it is in line with making your life better. If you had said that I'm going to be saving 100,000 and you rise up and save 150, or you say I'm holding on to 100,000 that I had planned in January to save until December. But if also things become very hard and you cannot save 100,000, save 80. If things become harder, save 70. If things become harder, save 50. Like Martin King Jr. once said, if you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But keep moving on your targets, on your budget. That makes the budget flexible. The second thing that I would pay attention to would be that you build scenarios around your budgets. Have the best case scenario. If all things are according to my plan, this is how I would deal with my money. This is the normal way. This is the bad way. So that when there are changes, you have easier decisions to make around your money. That's briefly what I can say to that question.
Wonderful.